OpenArthurianX6, the Ultima 6 like engine. It's been, I don't know, maybe a month since the last development stream, and I am ready to work back on this. So let's jump into it. I actually had to check into the previous dev stream in order to know where were we. And yeah, it looks like I just did a quick look at the plan for the first milestone, and I use that to feed the Trello board, so it's a bit disorganized. I think some of the things that are here in the work in progress columns are actually already done, and then we had this to do, which we will have to also check, and there were some tasks for Camilo to work on. I will talk with him to see what's the current status of that. But I created this column based on the pending things that I see here. So that's what we will be working on today. And so let's go into that. The first one is adding a mask for the sky elements. So this is basically clipping this so that only what is on this part of the screen is displayed. That is, the sun should not show up here. So right now the time is actually running a bit quicker than it will normally, and what you can see that both the sun and the moon are moving, and that's fine, but yeah, only the visible part should be here, so this should not show up. So let's take a quick look and see how that is built. I don't really remember. I know that we have this Skybox object. This thing updates. Okay, so this thing contains a layer, which is actually a phaser group. It's a sprite for the sky, another sprite for the sun, another sprite for the moon, and an attribute for the current minute of the day. And we are initializing this. Let's see where we initialize this. So this is required here. I wonder where. Okay, I think we actually initialize it right away. No, we don't. Oh, here. So basically we are initializing it when we are creating the UI. And the initialization, basically what it does is receiving a game object and a master group or layer, which is the UI layer, so that's why it's drawn on top of everything. And what we need to do is somehow define a mask. I don't know where we will define that, maybe for the whole layer or something like that. So we will have to research into that. Let's go ahead and do that. Phaser sprite mask. Let's see what we find. Masking a sprite with a complex shaped image. Phaser examples for a mask. And yeah, I think we will be able to use one of the sprites that we already have for the Skybox. I think we actually only have a single sprite for that, which should be this. Yeah, it's currently just this. So we are going to use the same sprite as a mask, probably. Okay, so what we are seeing here is that there's a sprite in the background, and then there's a mask, a circular shaped mask, which is used to display the sprite in the background as usual. The examples from GitHub don't load. I could have used this button. Please wait. Okay, so what they do here is they are loading an image, then they are adding a sprite with that image in the background, then they create a graphic object, and basically what they do is that they assign a mask to the sprite. In this case it is a graphics object, but I think it can also be another sprite. So let's go and check the documentation for the phaser CE. And what we need to check is the sprite class. And here let's look for the set mask. Set the mask for the display object. A mask is an instance of a graphics object. When applied, it limits the visible area to the shape of the mask. Under a canvas renderer, it uses shape clipping. Okay. I am not sure if we can use a sprite because this class is not really a super class of sprite. Masking sprite A to sprite B, sprite mask from PNG. In the end, I think we could use the as shape as a mask because this sprite is really very simple, and yeah, I mean, if we want to be practical, we don't really have to mask to the whole to the exact shape, because these celestial bodies, they are always drawn inside this area, right? So they actually never go past this area, or they never should go past this area. So I wonder if for simplicity we should just clip all these. I mean, we could we could even be more smart and not draw the sprites when it's under certain threshold, and then still use the mask, but only to draw it partially here. In that case, the mask could be a graphics object that is overlaid here. I think that will be simpler. We don't really need um, to use a very like a complex, like a shape as a mask. So we can go back to this example. Let's try that. Let's try adding a rectangular mask. So in the Skybox, what we are going to do here is we are going to create that graphics object. Now, how are we creating? Okay, we can use the factory method here. This.game.add graphics, and it's going to be located, and well, this Skybox is located. These are the anchors, but where is the actual position? Where's the position of this, for example? Okay, here it is. It's defined here. So I think we can move this mask along with the sky sprite. I mean, it can be in the same position. So when we create it, we just put it on the origin, but we here actually we could make it a children so that they move at the same time. But let's first do it independently, and if it works, add mask is a children of sky sprite. It's a child of sky sprite. Okay, so whenever the sky sprite position changes, so does the mask one, the one of the mask. And okay, so how big is this sprite? So let's open that. Do we have the size here? No, we don't. Neither here. Let's go and check with GIMP. It's going to take a bit. And then we want to draw, to begin the fill and draw a rectangle in this case. And filter area, no, hit area, align, draw, or fill rect, no, draw rect, okay, draw rect. So X and Y, well, the anchor of the sky sprite is in the middle of the X axis, and the other, okay. So what we really want to draw is try to cover this whole sprite. Well, where is it? Here it is. So 96 by 42. Actually, well, we can read the width and height from the sky sprite. Let's do that. So we are covering the whole sky sprite. Actually, let's try let's try this first, and then let's try using the sky sprite sprite as a mask for the other ones. So okay, and then what we do here is, for example, for the sun sprite, set the mask to this dot mask, and that may work. But let's also set the anchor for this mask to be the same as the sky sprite. That may work or not. So we're going to build, and we are going to also put it on watch. It's taking some time. Tools, developer tools. I'm going to move myself a little bit up here so you can see the console. How's that bit going? Still taking, it's taking a bit of time. Okay, it's done. This thing doesn't want to move. Okay, let's refresh the page, and let's wait, no errors pop up. This that's it set mask is not a function, so maybe it's just assigned directly. Okay, so let's just assign this directly to the sun sprite. The mask is this dot mask. Well, oh, I forgot to put the gold watch. Mask. Sprite mask for PNG. No answers here. Masking a sprite with another sprite. You could use alpha mask to use another sprite as a mask. So okay, that may be a second approach. Okay, now I am going to run the watch so we don't have to wait that long for the rebuilds. And now we are going to check if that worked. Oh, well, it worked. Looks like it worked. As you can see, the sun is not displayed here. I just want to wait some time for the moon to go down. Let's wait for that. Moon, it's taking some time. We want to the night to be over already and the sun to come. Here we go. Where's the sun? What happened here? Oh, what? Oh, it's just running very slowly, probably due to the streaming. Sun. Okay, that's not good. I think the sun is never going to show up. Okay. Maybe what we can do is set the same mask for the moon and then start debugging from there. Because yeah, I mean, we're going to need this for all the bodies. But yeah, I have a feeling that this is not going to work very well. Width and height. Okay, let's try that. Probably the moon is not going to show up here at all, which is not what we want, but I really need to improve the build process for this. Because this doesn't tell me when it's finished bundling or building. So I really gotta hook up something like browser sync or similar. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are not going to use it as a mask, but we're going to add it to see where it's being drawn. So let's change that field, for example, to pure red, and then let's when we are creating these graphics, let's add it to the Skybox layer, and since it's added last, it should show up there. Yeah, as you can see, the moon is not shown at all. I expected that. Hmm. Maybe now that we added it at the same, well, but in the example they just created the graphics object. Well, but they created it on the same group that they created the other sprite, and they added it to the game. So maybe that will do the trick. We will see. Okay, that's been enough time. Let's see if the game is ready. Yeah, it's ready. And we can see something of the sun. Oh, that's a known bug. What? Okay, let's remove this part where we set the mask. But I have the feeling that I'm using this incorrectly. Maybe. Or maybe it's because I'm drawing from these coordinates. Oh, that's hard to know, but we will know soon. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take note because I also gotta add that fix that. I thought that was already fixed. Bug NPC interacting with player without having moved. Okay, so as you can see, yeah, it's being drawn in the wrong position. So if we move that to the correct position, that should fix it. Maybe what I can do is don't change this anchor. Probably that will do the trick. I need this to be drawn here, covering this. So let's hope that by removing the anchor, it will actually have the origin here and not here. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that will do it. It's not yet ready. This error, yeah, well, this example doesn't seem to be available anymore. Okay, and it didn't work. It didn't work. So the first thing I'm going to check is if we're using the drawRect function correctly. Width and height, yeah, that looks correct. Okay, so since this anchor is changed, I think what we have to do is just draw this like this. That's a bit brute force-ish, but that should work. Well, what am I doing? Sorry. No, that was not it. This should be here. And then here. What we are doing is drawing this, moving the point from where this is being drawn. From here to here. Okay, that's better. That's just what we need. So now let's try to use it as a mask for both sprites. And sure, I think that should be enough. I'm also going to take note of that. We really need to set up um, what's the name of that? Browser, forgot. Browser sync? Yeah, I think that's the name. And also enhance gulp watch. Well, that will be part of setting up browser sync probably, to notify when build is done, because yeah, this is very slow. Okay, that looks promising. Chamino is going to reach us soon. Huh, he got stuck. That's interesting. Wonder why. The pathfinding should work there. It just seems to be walking directly towards me.